Hi, I'm Polly Talbot with Limburg TV, and we today are at Carte, one of my very favorite places on the block. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to get yourself organized in the kitchen, how to read and follow directions. Everybody has to start with a recipe sometime. So what we've got, I want to show you. A recipe has two parts. This just happens to be something we're doing tomorrow with the kids in our baking class. You have your ingredients and you have your method. The first thing you want to do, you can glance at your ingredients, obviously, but you want to read your method and you want to see step by step what you're going to be doing to complete your dish. You're going to get all kinds of tips once you do that first read. You're going to see the preheat the oven, so you know you have to do that. You're going to see also down here that you're going to be baking these for 22 minutes, so then you'll see, oh, I can make that cinnamon cream after. But what you want to do then, after you understand exactly what you're doing, I always tell people, go in the living room with a cup of tea and your recipe and read it and visualize what you're doing, so you're not all running around all over the place when you're in the kitchen and confused. So then you go back and you do what the French call your mise en place. And mise en place is just basically means put in place, things in place. It's a French term. It's used in kitchens all over the world because it's such an important step in cooking. Mise en place means you're going to go over here, and this is asking for butter, this is asking for sugar. You're going to measure out everything. You're going to have everything properly chopped, diced, measured, whatever you need to do, you're going to do it. Then you go back to reading your recipe, and you're actually going to do it at that point. So then everything's at your fingertips, and you'll find that that makes cooking so much easier. It's absolutely so much easier. You're more relaxed, you're more organized, you can have a glass of wine while you're cooking, and you can just feel relaxed about it, and you can get it done easily. The other thing that you're going to need to know when you start cooking is how to measure. So there's two types of measuring utensils that we see a lot. This is the glass measuring one. This is for liquids. These come in a 1 cup, a 2 cup, and a 4 cup. So, and others as well, but those are your basic ones. This one you can get your eye right up at the right level and see exactly what you've got. You've got 1 cup right here. Now these are dry ingredients, dry measures they call them. And what you're going to measure in here, flour, sugar, anything that's dry and not liquid. So this is the important thing. Flour is the most difficult one for people because what happens with flour, when it's in the package in the store, it gets packed. When you put it in your canister, it gets packed down. So you'll find in a baking kitchen, they actually weigh their flour. That makes it more accurate. But most home cooks don't have a scale. So this is how you should be measuring your flour. You're going to loosen it up a little bit to make sure it's not packed. And then you're going to put it into your measuring cup. And then you're going to just level it off. Okay? And make sure it's just a straight level. You never want to pack it. You see, if I start packing it, I can put a lot more flour in there. And then whatever I'm making is going to be dry. So you want to make sure that you're measuring your flour properly. I can't tell you how many people were surprised when they heard me say that. Then also we do have our measuring spoons, and they're always marked. They have the tablespoons or teaspoons right on them. But just be aware that in a tablespoon, you've got 3 teaspoons. So you want to make sure that you're reading and corresponding that to what your recipe is calling for. It'll make a big difference if it's like crushed red pepper flakes or something like that, or if you're in a leavening agent in a cake or whatever, it's got to be measured. Also, when you're baking, you do have to be, that's where you have to be really accurate because there's a chemical balance of things and there's a dry liquid balance. So that's where you have to really be especially careful with measuring. And then with cooking, sometimes you can throw in a little more or less, but you'll be able to taste as you go, and then you'll be able to see what it is. So that, I think, is going to make your cooking a lot easier.